Hello, and nice to meet you. Welcome to the presentation on discovering how you can keep your sanity as a caregiver. If you're a caregiver, then you may relate to this. You may be stressed out, tired, exhausted, drained, angry, frustrated, but it's all not that bad. Caregiving is also a very rewarding journey. And on the other hand, it's very important that you look after yourself first, always. Because when you look after yourself, then you can look best after others. So thank you, Nanaimo Brain Injury Society, for inviting me to do a presentation. It's been a while since we've gone live, and I'm happy to do this right now as an online presentation. So let me share the screen with you. I'm Saskia de Quaasteniet. I should tell you my name. I'm Saskia de Quaasteniet. I'm a caregiving consultant, and I actually live and work in Nanaimo. So let me share this. There we go. Make sure that you keep a pen and paper handy, because there are some tips in here that you may want to remember, but of course you can always go back to the YouTube channel of the Nanaimo Brain Injury Society and just watch it over and over again. And then also don't forget to check the other videos and the other presenters that have brought you great information and resources and strategies and tips. So I'm happy to be a part of it. As I said, I'm Saskia de Quaasteniet, caregiving consultant and educator. And today we're going to discover how to keep your sanity. Well, I've discovered that a long time ago, so I love to share my tips with you. If my screen even moves. Yes. So who am I? I'm Saskia de Quaasteniet, and I moved in 2005 from the Netherlands to Canada, and I lived in the middle of nowhere. I'd come here a few times, about 6 years in a row in different seasons, and I really loved Northern Ontario, and then love was in the air. So I said, bye-bye family, bye-bye friends. And I went to, I left Holland, the Netherlands, and I came to Canada. So I had always worked in corporate, but since I've been in Canada in 2005, so it's been 16 years now, I've been 12 plus years in the caregiver service industry. Now, my personal life, I went from marriage to divorce to much needed self-care. And I find self-care and personal development that has always been high on my list since I had this experience of moving and stepping into a new life and transforming a life and starting completely all over again. So I went, then my next steps it was that I went from rural to city life. I moved to Toronto, but that was not a good plan for me. So then I moved from East Toronto to West. So I landed on Vancouver Island by the fall of 2018, and I don't think I will ever leave. I love it here, and it's a community that is filled with caregivers that are seeking resources and information. So I'm always happy to help, and I run a caregiver support group in Nanaimo, which now is online. But it's specifically geared to people living in Nanaimo. So actually people in the group have come to know each other, which is really helpful. So yeah, I went from caregiving myself to coaching and supporting caregivers. I'm currently caring for my mom, who is in the Netherlands. So it's all long distance, which is a different ball game, of course. My first tip for you. And people sometimes say, Saskia, do you ever stop smiling? Yes, I do. But you know, when you give a smile, you get a smile. And that really works. Just do it. You don't, I get it. You don't always feel like it, but just do it. Sometimes you can make yourself really laugh when you think like, okay, I'm tired, I don't want to smile, but just try to pull up this, bring the smile in your heart, and you know, and you feel that your energy shifts. So when you approach somebody with a smile in your eyes, you'll get that back. It works, just do it. So here's the ripple effect. It works. It simply works. Now, as a caregiver, you have many, many emotions. So the question is, for you, which is the worst? Because the emotions are difficult, and the emotions can exhaust, steal, and deplete. And that sounds all very sad and negative, but it's reality. And it's okay to acknowledge that. Actually, it's better to acknowledge it, because once you acknowledge it, that you feel that you have difficult emotions, then you can reach out to others to talk about it and to get help, to give a call to somebody in the peer support program that the Nanaimo Brain Injury Society offers. So we all feel it: sadness, grief, anxiety, frustration, guilt, and resentment. And it's so easy to fall in the trap of self-pity, of bitterness, and flirting with the anger, frustration, and blame. Well, that's really not the way to go. Wouldn't you rather be happy? Wouldn't you rather keep your sanity? So just for a moment, take a deep breath and take this message in. And then what would you say, just what comes up in your mind, what you say is the worst caregiving emotion for you today? And just make a quick note of it. Now, one of the things that people have a hard time talking about is about guilt. And I love this picture of the elephant in the room, as you see, because sooner or later you will have to admit that there is this obtrusive element. So I thought the elephant would be really a great image to show that there's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of guilt amongst caregivers. Just because your journey is hard, a lot is required of you, and you often do not value yourself or what you do. You're always wondering, am I perfect? Do I do it right? Should I have done it differently? I want you to know right now, right here, that whatever you do, and in every way that you care, you matter, and what you do is perfect. So the psychology today says that guilt can paralyze us. It's an excessive and obsessive overthinking about your failures and worthiness, and that will just bring out more stress. Guilt is a sad emotion, and it includes also grief and loneliness. So what's important to understand is that don't get trapped by guilt. What happens when you feel guilt in your heart? You stay away from self-worth. You push away self-acceptance. You push away self-trust, self-love. It's not in your vocabulary anymore. It's not how you feel anymore. But you know what? The challenges of caregiver guilt outweigh any benefits. So on the screen, I have some challenges rolling up that are related to the guilt. And maybe you recognize some of these. And if so, please make a note. You may ignore your heart's desires because there's no time for you. You are not important. You think sometimes maybe, but it's not true. You may fear to be genuine, to be really you. But please be you. I know it's not easy. It's not easy. But try tips and tricks and tools. And today we'll talk about how to keep your sanity. I get to that in a few minutes with some great information for you, things that help you, that also then help you to overcome these challenges. You know, I don't think you feel good when you feel not good enough, right? You may struggle to stand your ground. You experience feeling lost and emotional. And there's one in here that comes up, which most people always wonder what that is. So on the bottom of the screen, it says OPC rules. Now, if you've been in one of my presentations or workshops, you know what it is, because being a caregiver or not, you're often pulled into OPC. What is it? What is it? You want to know, right? OPC is other people's crap, which means that other people's agenda, that's a friendlier way of saying it, other people's agendas rule over your own, because you find it hard to say no. You always feel that you have to serve somebody else. And especially women, we multitask, we nourish people, we serve and accommodate. And it's okay to not do that. Pull yourself back and take care of yourself. So when somebody's asking you something and you just feel like you can't or you don't want to do it, you can also say, rather than saying just no, because I know that's hard. That's very hard. It's what caregivers tell me all the time, right? You can say, yes, but not now. Or let me think about it and let me get back to you. What would be another good time for you that I can help you? Because tomorrow is really not a good time for me. You know, OPC, once you've learned this, you'll never forget. And it's okay to say no. So it's not just about the challenges. It's about the negative impact on your health. Do you often have a headache? Are your wheels spinning? Are you lacking sleep? Do you feel tension in your shoulders? Are you having digestive issues? Is your stomach often upset? Any stressor that you have has a negative impact on your health. So taking care of you, your mental, your physical, your emotional, your spiritual health is the most important thing. These are the things that count. When you look after yourself, I keep repeating it, you're able to look after others. So when you think about it, how often are you actually getting close to losing it? Just understand that your path to good health is to maintain sanity, soundness of mind and judgment. If your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, and the other one are upset, are in uproar, then it's hard to have sound mind and judgment. So as a caregiver, a sound mind and judgment is important, because the people that you care for, the person that you care for, often relies on you. And if you're all foggy and fuzzy, sad, angry, it's hard to determine what is right, what is wrong, what is the good next step to do. And there's something else, and that is, it gets hard to listen to what your caree, the person that you care for, actually is really sometimes asking you, or what he or she needs. So here's some tips and strategies on how to keep your sanity. What does it mean that I say here, like, did he or she tell you? Really? So if you have a sound mind and judgment, understand that often you don't really hear what's going on, because people are really good in masking themselves, or just the fact, here's a simple example. Hey, how are you today? Oh, I'm good. Let me just exaggerate this. Oh, I'm good, but I'm not really. So if you keep your sanity, you will see the nonverbal cues underneath the verbal communication. There's something else. We don't always need we don't always know as a caregiver what their needs are, what their wants are. Do we even ask? Is our mind calm and quiet and at peace so that we can take the time to ask? Just remember that the person you care for does not always ask for the help that they need. And when as a caregiver, your mind is busy, it's running 100 miles an hour, you're tired and drained, there are other things in your life that were not going the way that you wanted them to go, then you don't have sound judgment. You may misread or mishear what is actually going on. So making assumptions or having expectations may become an issue. So what did I invent? C.O.L.A. C.O.L.A is crucial. Now you wonder what C.O.L.A is, right? C.O.L.A is an acronym for compassion, observe, listen, and ask. And C.O.L.A leads to sanity. When you practice C.O.L.A, you learn the needs and the values of yourself and those of your caree, the person you care for. You also learn to speak up for yourself and for your caree, because often as a caregiver, you're the one who is the advocate, correct? You will stay focused and you make confident decisions. You find time, energy, and resources. So your sanity leads to happiness, and that may be contagious. I just noticed that I'm smiling. You know, being in a happy place, having a calmer mind, being mindful, which you can actually, maybe you want to also Google mindful breathing and find like a 3 to 5 minute YouTube video that is easy to understand about mindful breathing. That's really great. That really helps to slow down, to calm your mind in a short time. It will make you happy, I guarantee. Yeah. So one of the tips here is that pause before you speak. Now, that's not always possible, because we humans, we like to chat, keep conversations going. We don't know what to do with silence. But honest repeat. Take a deep breath Keep your voice friendly and calm and ask one open-ended question. And you've learned what that is. It's the question that you can't and that cannot be answered with yes or no. So you ask a question from your caree that has an open end. It makes your caree talk. The challenge for you is to shut up and listen. When I do this in the workshops, we always laugh out loud because it's really about pause before you speak. To do one open-ended question. Don't ask, did you have a good day? Did you have a headache? No, how was your day today? And let them talk. Shut up and listen. I always imagine duct tape. Yeah, that's so funny. You know, don't keep chatting all the time. You learn most when you're alert. So shake things up a bit, add fun and laughter. Something else that is really nice, and some people like it, not everybody, a lot of people like it, not everybody likes it. It's the power of healing touch. That can be so calming. That can be so soothing, and not just for the person that you care for, also for you. So what is very important is that you don't make this a high pressure touch. So if I would touch you on the arm, like I do, you can see my video here on the side. When I touch you on the arm, don't lean. Just gently touch on the arm or the hand over hand or underhand. You can hold somebody like that. That is extremely supportive. That's extremely calming and soothing. It's also a great way to build more trust. When you practice a gentle touch, yes, it works like magic. And you know what? You don't have to talk. Sometimes you can just make a cup of tea, sit together, and just be calm. Have a gentle touch, but make sure the person is okay with her touch. Depending on their own health situation, sometimes it may work, sometimes it may not work. And I know that there are some religions that are not always that comfortable with touch. So just make sure, but it is so soothing. And then use your breathing again with it. If you feel like you want to chat while you touch and do a whole story about the grocery shopping or children or grandchildren or neighbors and gardening and yada yada, just pause. Use a mindful breathing technique. Just calmly breathe in and out. And bring that smile back in. It's almost better than a nap. So I would like to say to you, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. It's always one of my favorite quotes at the end of my presentations or a workshop. And I love sharing quotes like this. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation in collaboration with the Nanaimo Brain Injury Society. And please check out their website, nbis.ca, and also check out their peer support program. And they have really amazing resources. You know, the more you look for support, the more you get. Look, ask, and get. And if you would like to get in touch with me, I don't have a website anymore. I work very local. I have the online support group. So feel free to give me send me an email at saskia@creatingbeingwell.com. And please send in your questions or get in touch with Adriana of the Nanaimo Brain Injury Society, and they're happy to help. This was it for today. Have a wonderful week and get in touch with me if you have any questions. Thank you.